What's up, UH Nation? This is Ed Tierney coming to you from Lifetime Athletic. Hope everyone's having a good afternoon. This is Wednesday, October 16th. We're actually going to be in our second week of Veterans League action. Let's go back to week one where we had the Expendables take on the Hurricanes. The Hurricanes with the new look. It was easy work for the Hurricanes. Take down the Expendables. Hurricanes got up to an 18-point lead at half, a lead that they would not relinquish as they went on to take this one 72-41. The Expendables, new look. They added Zeb. They added Larry Muller. You're going to have to get more production. You have to get more shots, only shooting 35%. It took 40 shots. If you only get 3 of 15 from downtown, and you just have to they have to play a lot better if they're going to compete in this league. The Hurricanes, new acquisition, Brendan O'Brien, Brian Cohn. Statistically, not great, but they made their presence felt, and they're a new look team. So look for the Hurricanes to move forward this week as they're going to take on Old School, the defending champs. That should be a test right there. Old School took on Hit Squad, and I'll be very honest with Hit Squad coming into the season. Their roster changed. Every team in the league got better. It seemed like Hit Squad, although they took off the summer, they won this and they won the spring, but every team got better. It looked as if Hit Squad, they lost O'Brien. They didn't have Sean Marshall. They lost by almost 20 to the defending champion Old School. I think a lot of teams will probably even overlook Hit Squad this season. But Monday, I got a text from Ivory, and it's official. Sean Marshall is back. He will be in action tonight. Sean Marshall's a former MVP, and as Ivory wrote in a text message, game on. He is a game changer. They're going to take on the Hooligans. That's a great rivalry. And I'm not going to say bad blood, but Jay Harris was on that team last year, defected back to the Hooligans. So, that definitely is a rivalry. And now you add Prashad back in the mix as well as Sean Marshall. That should be just a crazy game, and I'm looking forward to seeing the results. The Hooligans last week took on a new team, Roadhouse. Roadhouse is definitely known for its size. They're a big team. The Hooligans, Jeff Rauch shot 60%. Jay Harris was very efficient, scored 9 points, but he shot 100%. So if you're gonna be efficient and you're gonna get a lot of boards from guys like Ken Lawson and key minutes from Prashad off the bench, look for the Hooligans. The Hooligans are going to look for another championship. They're always in it. And I'm not going to say Roadhouse is not made for this league, but they're going to have to retinker how they play. Rallo's going to have to shoulder a lot more of the guard responsibility, and they need to use Clifford. Clifford only played 15 minutes. That cannot happen. I think any league, you got to have Mike Clifford playing at least 35 to 38 minutes. So you definitely need Roadhouse to come back with a better game plan and how they're going to redistribute the minutes. Now we're going to go to Old School. Old School last week, like I said earlier, made short work of Hit Squad. Old School won the championship, and they added Brett Leitner. So I'm taking a line from the Fab 5 30 for 30. Everyone was surprised last season they won it. Now everyone will be surprised if they don't win it. So, you have guys like Leitner, Seth, MVP, reigning MVP, Jared Wolfel, Ackerman. They have a good core. Look for them. If Ackerman's going to shoot 69%, 20 points, 12 rebounds, you're not going to lose many games. So I definitely, you gotta look for these teams to really start to kicking in all cylinders. All these teams have new additions, every single one of them. I would say, the Hooligans, they have their core back, but they have new additions. So week 2, week 3, week 4, look for the league to start to take shape. It hasn't hit that stride yet, although we're only 1 week in, but I would not say week 1 is indicative of the rest of the season. Tonight we have Roadhouse taking on the Expendables. That's a tough game to call. If Roadhouse can get a good game plan together, I think they should have no problem taking down the Expendables. But the Expendables are a scrappy team. They've lost one of their better players, Brian Cohn, but they've added, like I said earlier, Zeb and Larry Muller, and Randy Gurman is returning, Ken Steer. All these guys should be a good contest, but I'm going to have to pick Roadhouse in that contest. Next will be Hit Squad versus the Hooligans. That's tough. That's always that's the no mercy unstuck version in the Veterans League. Sean Marshall's back. Without O'Brien, there's that presence missing in the paint. I'm going to have to take the Hooligans in a very tight game. And Hurricanes versus Old School. They were wire to wire last year. They're ranked number 1 this season. Or last season they were wire to wire. This season they're number 1. They won their first game. I'm going to take Old School. So we should have a great slot of games tonight. Like I said earlier, Roadhouse versus Expendables, Hit Squad taking on the Hooligans, and the Hurricanes taking on Old School. Look for, I'm going to select some players to watch tonight. I'm going to say watch for Zeb Pirzada. He was kind of called out in the UH National Newsletter. He's got to get the ball. His best season was last summer when he was shooting the ball at an incredibly well rate. And, ever since then, he's been more of a role player. Get the ball to Zeb, and I think you'll start to see more cohesion and a better offensive attack from the Expendables. Another player to watch for, I said it earlier, Sean Marshall. If he's in uniform, he's a game changer. Former MVP, he can make things happen on the court. So definitely look for Sean Marshall to be an impact at that 8:30 slot contest. And finally, in the late game, the Hurricanes, old school, that's going to be a crazy tight matchup. But I'm going to look for a guy like, obviously Tom DiMaselli, Brian Cohn, but look for a guy like Mike Venuti to step up, take some key shots. It's his team. He took it over. He's the GM. So I think he's going to start, really coming into his home. So, hey, should be a great night at Syosset, Long Island. Should be a fun night on the hardwood in Long Island. And we'll see for the results. And have a good week.